solve this inequality for x, okay? So we're going to solve this for this x. We want to get x all by itself. So I have to get rid of numbers next to the x, okay? Now what number is right next to the x? You say that's 0.05, negative 0.05. But that's the coefficient of x. Now we'll get rid of that later on. So besides the negative 0.05, if you're not going to get rid of that right now, we're going to get rid of that later on because it's the coefficient of the variable x. Then what number is right next to the x? Well, the 55 is, okay? So that's the number we're going to get rid of first. And I'm going to do that by subtracting 55 from both sides of the equation. That's going to give me 20 over here, okay? And you're going to have to bring down the greater than sign and the negative 0.05, all right? Now, the coefficient of x is negative 0.05. When you have two terms, here's a term here and a term here. When you have two terms, that's when you get rid of the coefficient. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 0.05. So write this over negative 0.05 and write 20 over negative 0.05. Now, but when we divide by negative, what happens to this? It changes, doesn't it, when we divide by negative? So we're going to have 20 over negative 0.05, okay? So you're going to get x, and this stays the same. If you take 20 divided by negative 0.05, it goes 400 times. It's negative, and keep this as a less than sign. Now, if this is less than x, then x must be bigger than this. You see, if this is less than x, then x must be larger than that. Now, in both cases here, this arrow is pointing at the negative 400. Okay? See how they have like the end of an arrowhead right here, and it's pointing at this number here? Okay? So to say this is the same thing as to say this because you're still pointing this at the negative 400. So if you want to write the x first, write the x first, but to point that arrow at that negative 400. Okay? So here's my final answer. This is the preferred way to write this inequality.